Over 6 months ago, the USL season kicked off on March 21st. 24 teams battled week in and week out. Great goals and saves. The atmosphere was electric, but every team's ambition to hoist the USL Championship trophy. Last week in the semifinals, the Rochester Rhinos secured the right to host the championships. Defender Vasilios Apostolopoulos scored his first USL goal in the 21st minute as the Rhinos defeated Louisville City 1-0. In the Western Conference Final, LA Galaxy 2 started fast. 2 goals in the first 22 minutes. Ari Lassiter and Frenchman Andre Aris, and then held off a late surge by the Oklahoma City Energy to earn a trip to Rochester and the 2015 USL Championship. Rochester, New York, and Salem Stadium, the site. A rainy night, but a championship will be awarded this evening. Eastern Conference champion Rochester Rhinos and the Western Conference champion LA Galaxy next on ESPN3. Alongside U.S. men's national team captain and future head coach of FC Cincinnati, John Harkes, I'm Mike Watts. Thanks for tuning in for this one. And John, these are two very different teams, the way they're built, the way they play, and yet they're the last two remaining in USL this year. And absolutely, a tale of two cities. When you look at LA, their second year in the league, and they're here in the final already. Traveling on the road, the mentality's been great under Kurt Arnolfo. Look at Bob Lilly, the history of the game in the USL. They've won championships in the past. They know what it's like to compete, and the home advantage they have tonight, it's going to really make a big difference. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for this evening. First for LA Galaxy 2, Clement Diop gets the call and goal. Diop, the young player who's so athletic in goal. It reminds me of like a Tim Howard at some point as a younger guy. But look at this midfield too. Kenny Walker pulling the strings. Ottos, what a great player. He's going to try to connect and make sure that they push that ball into the attack. Lassiter, McBean, Oliveira, you'll see them in the attacking third. Meanwhile, for the Rochester Rhinos, they go to a veteran in goal, Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller, he's really done such a great job of really keeping this almost like an enforcer there as a defensive shell, but the whole team does a great job of that. No Dos Santos because of the red card, no Valesky because of the concussion. Dixon could be the lone striker tonight in a 4-5-1. One of the great players for LA Galaxy, too, that we'll be keeping an eye on tonight is Ari Lassiter, and as fans have grown up, maybe the younger players growing up with professional soccer in the United States, they have people to look at like maybe Roy Lassiter, his father. 27 goals in 1996, 88 in his regular season MLS career. For more on Ari Lassiter, we go to Heather Prusak.
Ari's in his first season with the USL, a very successful first season. He led the LA Galaxy 2 with 11 goals in the regular season and has 3 so far in the playoffs. I'm now joined with Ari, and Ari, you scored both goals against Orange County in the Western Conference semifinals. How have you been able to build off of your success from the regular season in the playoffs?
You know, it's just doing what I've always been doing, working hard in training and working hard in the games to try to get in good spots for myself and for my teammates, and, you know, just doing what I've always been doing and putting the ball in the back of the net.
You guys don't face the Rhinos in the regular season, so is it difficult to prepare for a team that you haven't faced yet, especially one that has such a dominant defense as Rochester?
Right, you know, it's always going to be difficult, especially in a championship game. You know, anything can happen, but we got to go out there and we got to focus on ourselves, which is the most important thing. We got to capitalize on our opportunities in front of the net.
I got to ask, is Dad going to be watching tonight?
Definitely. He'll definitely be tuning in tonight.
All right, well, thanks, Ari. Good luck.
Thank you.
Fans still filing in Rochester, a fan base built over 20 years as a professional club with such tremendous success. This year, the #1 team in the regular season, taking on an LA Galaxy 2 team that was tremendous in the second half. They're taking the field right now.
Kurt juggling, you know, the being an LA team, juggling the roster.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, would you please rise and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem.
Rochester and the Galaxy 2, their last chance to look at that beautiful trophy. Only one can go home with it tonight. The USL Championship will be decided potentially in the next 90 minutes. Let's take a look at some of the coaching tonight, because these are two coaches that have plenty of experience either in USL or also in MLS. For Kurt Analfo, helps that he went to Virginia, I'm sure, but has some MLS coaching experience, second year at the helm of LA Galaxy too.
Absolutely. A lot of great experience there, Mike. And we talk about him preparing his team on the road. Well, you talk about adverse conditions. He's going to have to be well prepared tonight for this.
Everywhere Bob Lilly goes, he wins. That includes 2 stints now in Rochester. This is his 4th total year, 2 two-year stints for him. But he's gotten his team a chance to defend home turf in this final.
Absolutely. Bob Lilly does such a great job of organization, getting his teams ready mentally, physically, and he's going to have to deal with the adversity tonight now with 2 strikers being out. How does he adjust his team? Well, he's getting his team together right now.
Let's take a look at the road to the championship. First for the LA Galaxy, they did not get a bye in the first round. The number 5 seed in the Western Conference. They defeat Sacramento 1-0 on September 26th. A 2-0 win over Orange County. Ari Lassiter, a pair of goals on October 3rd. And now on October 11th, a win over OKC Energy. They scored in the 7th minute and took a 2-1 victory. And for Rochester, they did get a bye in the first round. They were the number 1 seed, 61 points in the regular season. So they've played just 2 games in the conference playoffs leading into the USL final. October 3rd, a 2-0 win over Red Bull New York 2, and a 1-0 win over Louisville City, the highest scoring team in the league, on Saturday, October 10th. The captains meeting at midfield. There's a bit of ceremony to a final. There's maybe a little extra juice, but once you get into the game, one thinks these teams will begin to settle in after maybe a slight bump in energy early.
Well, that's the big challenge tonight, Mike, is who's going to establish the rhythm first. And normally you like to see that possession style game we know from the LA Galaxy, and certainly Rochester very capable of that. But how physical are these 2 teams going to be going at each other? That's going to be the biggest telling point tonight.
Clement Diop gets the calling goal, hometown of Paris, France, 6'1". He might be the most athletic player in the organization. he gets a chance to start in a final, having signed with LA Galaxy 2 following the 2014 season. And meanwhile, on the other end, Brandon Miller, what a story for him. He was here for 3 years, and he continues to play behind goalkeeper of the year candidates year after year. This year he gets his chance, and he backstopped the best defense perhaps in the history of the USL.
Yeah, and he's really good. He's stepped up, hasn't he? He's gotten that platform, an opportunity to shine and show what he's all about finally. And boy, has he not disappointed at all. He's very, very done a great job this year.
Nima Saigofi is the referee. Plenty of experience in MLS, has been the center referee in a handful of USL matches throughout this season. The rain is falling in Rochester, but that hasn't kept a solid fan turnout from making their way to Salem Stadium. And the teams, maybe that's too much jitters. They switched sides. They went to the wrong sides. So it will be LA Galaxy 2 moving right to left into the closed end of the stadium for Rochester in the white jerseys with their commemorative 20th anniversary patch. They'll move left to right into the open end of this field. Jack McBean standing over the ball. 6 months of action culminates in 90 minutes. McBean and Lassiter waiting for the go-ahead. Both goalkeepers are ready now that they've switched sides. And LA Galaxy 2 kicks off against the Rochester Rhinos to open the 2015 USL Championship Final. Taken away by Aris, and back towards Apostolopoulos. He scored the game-winning goal, the only goal against Louisville City. LA Galaxy 2 has scored in the opening 15 minutes of each of their playoff games so far this year. There's a feeling that they may come out and really try and press this Rochester team that has turned Salem Stadium into a fortress.
Yeah, they're going to want to dominate the play, and you can see this already, Mike, the way that they're trying to establish territory by gaining possession and really pressing the issue here against Rochester in the early opening kickoff stages. Oh.
A step over by Oliveira and no one on the other side, so Rochester tries to counter. And the first foul of the match. Ari Lassiter, 3 goals in 2 playoff games. He was suspended for the first game. Walker committed the foul. These teams did not meet this year, but when we spoke with Kurt Analfo, he said they've been watching Rochester for 3 weeks now, preparing for the possibility of this game. But as much film as you watch, one would think there's a point where if you haven't played them, it's hard to truly understand what they do on the field.
You just want to make sure that you're prepared, as much as possible for what they bring to the table. And again, this is a game about mistakes. And with these conditions tonight, Mike, we'll see who reacts better to the mistakes on the field.
Mendiola through, Oliveira, and kicked out by Rochester.
Very slick surface, been raining here for about a couple hours before kickoff, Mike. You and I, we walked over the pitch as well, and we noticed that, yeah, the ball's going to skip, so technically it's going to change a little bit, and we'll see who adjusts better.
LA Galaxy 2 has played in a blizzard this year. They haven't played in temperatures this cold in quite some time. Lassiter saw that ball squeak between 2 defenders, picked up by Brandon Miller. They last played in temperatures this cool in late April. Obasi, Walls, eventually grabbed by Walker and taken over again by the Rhinos. Mendoza can't hang on, and back comes LA Galaxy 2 and out of play.
We'll see Franco really try to push up on that left-hand side a lot higher, stretch the game a little bit here.
Flag up for offside. Walls had tried to keep the referee from blowing that whistle.
Yeah, it was interesting how he was like, I'm not involved in the play. And it was a split second later, Mike, as soon as the ball got close to, he turns around. You see it right here. I'm not involved. Yeah, I'm going to apply pressure right away.
Taken by Aris. What a tremendous goal he had in the most recent game, the semifinal. Heather Prusak is down on the sideline tonight, and she has more on the pressure that LA Galaxy likes to push early.
Well, Rochester is 17-1-2 when scoring first this season. They've played in 5 scoreless games, and the 3 games they didn't score first, they tied. So Rochester's really gonna want to score first, and LA Galaxy's gonna have to try to limit that early.
Thank you, Heather. Lassiter lines it up and sends it left. Not hard to try and apply pressure, but trying to get one past this guy.
Yeah, again, they're picking up the second ball here. You see Lassiter is first to it. His instincts takes over. I'm going to have a strike. Brandon Miller, he's right in a good position. No threat on goal from that one, but more to come from Lassiter, I'm sure.
Sorto off the foot of Dixon. He's played a variety of roles for this Rhino side this year. 3 years in Houston, twice runners-up to the Galaxy in the MLS Cup. Certainly trying to avoid deja vu here this evening. Mendoza. It was tipped away, but he stays on the ball, sends in the cross back post, and it's just wide. Obasi came running in.
What a terrific effort from Mendoza. Combination play with Forbes. Almost goes out here for a goal kick. He gets to the line. What a great service. Obasi coming on there, just trying to surprise element. Late run into the box. Connects with it, but doesn't get a clean header. Good attacking shape there from Rochester Rhinos early on in this game.
Check that, it was Dixon who was sprinting just beyond Obasi, who put the head to that. Booted away from McBean. Apostolopoulos off of Aris, kicked by Walker. And the Rhino defense takes over again as they try and avoid the early siege from LA Galaxy 2. Tough turnover in the middle of the field. Sean Tosh was not expected to start necessarily, but gets the call in the championship as two key strikers out for the Rhinos.
It's going to be a battle tonight. You see Franco going up against Pat McMahon, the right back for Rochester. Very tenacious, both players trying to battle here.
Off the head of Walker, taken by Aris. Off the head of Lassiter and taken by Miller.
Great energy so far from both sides, really trying to establish himself and get on the ball. One thing that I've really noticed, though, Tony Walsh in the midfield pushing up very high. Here's that chip over the top, trying to find, see Lassiter just getting a peek in the head there.
Up the left side, Dixon attacking again. Leaves it off, Tosh, up and over.
Yeah, Tosh getting the shout tonight, getting the start from Bob Lilly. This one just laid off. Trying to get the first strike on goal there.
Tosh went to University of Illinois, Chicago. First professional contract for him came with the Rhinos, 24 years old. McBean, just 20 years old. A lot of youth for LA Galaxy too, and when we spoke with Kurt Analfo, McBean, and all these players that are working their way in, they're trying to develop those guys to an extent, but their goal is to win. They're LA Galaxy, they're here to win trophies. They made that clear.
And that's the biggest challenge, trying to find that balance, Mike, isn't it? I mean, how much can you let the players who are developing play through their mistakes, yet at the same time win the games? You know, and that's a big challenge, and that's what Kurt Analfo and his staff have had to juggle throughout. But look, everybody's trying to do that, right? Right through the league. USL, fastest growing league in the country. Unbelievable in terms of the growth. It's been amazing. And you see the opportunities for players. They step up. Seeing a lot of players step up right now in this final.
Expansion to 24 teams this year. Kurt Analfo, his second season at the helm of LA Galaxy 2. The first MLS-owned and operated team to make it into a USL final. They felt a bit robbed last year, a couple of perhaps unjust penalties. That ball blasted to the top row of Sahlen Stadium. Aris can't hang on, and nothing there. Forbes was racing ahead, and Tosh takes over. Mendiola for Lassiter, and the Rhinos defense again back to Miller. So a chance to regroup for Rochester. 12th minute, no score. The USL Championship matching the Rochester Rhinos, the Eastern Conference champion, the #1 team in the league, just one loss all season. And LA Galaxy 2, a team that's come on strong over the last couple of months, earned the #5 seed in the Western Conference. Lassiter tries a shot that's blocked. Van de Castile. For Mendoza. Off of McBean. Handball. McBean, one of the few guys who can actually touch it with his hand. He's not wearing gloves tonight.
Yeah, a little bit chilly here. McBean, you mentioned him earlier, Mike, about his age. Maturity, though, in terms of experience. Busted into the first team a couple years ago under Bruce Arena at the LA Galaxy. On loan, full throughout this year with Kurt Analfo. Man, has he grown tremendously and matured as a young player, taking on a leadership role here in this LA2 team.
Walls went down, and to your point, the youngest player to ever score for the LA Galaxy first team was Jack McBean. A long journey for him, and he's been very good for LA Galaxy 2 this year. So a free kick in a fairly dangerous position here for the Rhinos.
And you see Van de Castile, he'll come forward. Former University of Notre Dame under Bobby Clark. Made that great defensive play, but very well known on set pieces, getting on the end of it. We'll see if he is one of the targets here.
Canardo Forbes, the Jamaican, preparing to take this free kick. Plays it toward the back post. And no run quite near enough.
Van de Castile coming a little bit late. The weight of the pass a bit too heavy. You see Tony Walls there in your picture, pushing a lot higher than what he normally does in the midfield under Bob Lilly tonight. Again, they've had to make those adjustments. No Steven Dos Santos, no Valesky, the goal scorers that have been there for them. Red card for Dos Santos. Valesky with the concussion. How do they adapt? They've had to move players around here.
Mendoza nods it wide. Taken over by Walker for Lassiter. And off the head of McMahon. th minute. That stat may expire momentarily. Scoring in the first 15 of each of the playoff matches for LA Galaxy 2. And Walls sorting through things with Diallo.
Bob Lilly spoke to me during the week, and he said Tony Walls is the best ball winner in the midfield he's ever coached. Normally you see him in a deeper position, as I mentioned earlier, Mike, but had to adapt tonight and push a little bit higher. We'll keep an eye and see how that changes tactically throughout this game in this championship final.
So Aris, who's so dangerous on free kicks. Didn't get it over the first group. They're looking for a handball.
I think he's given the free kick, top of the 18 there, Mike.
And just outside the area.
Yeah, you see this wicked ball served in. See the skip off the turf? There's a handball there as it bounces up. Referee was in a good position to make the call. And you just mentioned Audis. Wow, what a free kick he hit. Huh? Unbelievable. So he's more than capable. A lot of players from LA want this one. Circling the wagons here.
Only 6 players around the ball. May have to draw straws to see who gets a shot at this. Just 19 yards away.
And you hear Miller's instructions. Just making sure they're in the wall.
Mendiola, McBean, Aris. But in the end, it'll be Aris or Lassiter. Set on goal, and it's blocked back out. The second shot is knocked down by Miller. And the crowd roars with approval for a tremendous save to keep it tied at 0.
Well, you keep talking about Miller and how big he's come up in games. Tremendous, tremendous reaction there. The first one's drilled into the wall, comes back, and then there's a volley through traffic. Miller keeping his eye on the ball, well focused. Great reaction save from Miller.
Mike Garzi being attended to. Heather Prusak is down on the sideline with more on Tony Walls.
Yeah, Tony Walls, he actually told ever got serious about was basketball. He led his high school team to a state title, and he actually played a year, his first year in college as a freshman, but then told me that he knew that the NBA wouldn't work out, so eventually soccer won out.
Walls, one of the players that Bob Lilly has said maybe most exemplifies what Rochester soccer is supposed to be, is Garzi trying to work off the field.
Please don't forget the Rhinos 2016 season tickets are on sale now. Reserve your 2016 Rochester Rhinos season tickets by calling 454-KICK option 2. And you can do it at the Rhinos administrative offices Monday through Friday.
Look back at Garzi, who is standing in the wall. Franco taken right off his foot. Mendoza. Sent up the left side, but the flag is up. It's offside.
Well, it was tight there. Switching to play. Rochester trying to open up the game a little bit more. It's very congested through that midfield, Mike, and that's the thing, is who can pick their head up and catch somebody in a late run diagonal. Maybe stretch it a little bit, get him behind the back line.
Mike Garzi is back on the field. Heather Prusak has more on his injury.
Garzi's back on the field now, and head trainer for the Rhinos, Doug Graham, told me that they're going to monitor him throughout this half. He's back on the field now, but they're going to keep a close look on him. It was his right foot he was kind of limping on.
Mendiola for Lassiter, not a great touch. McBean, maybe a worse touch.
The opportunity was there, bounced up on him just a little bit, wanted to crack it first time. See the early ball coming in. There's Lassiter. The ball just bounces off of him. McBean trying to capitalize on that. Wants that one back.
#21 minute, no score. The Rhinos working up the field. Mendoza crosses it in. Forbes, and it's kicked away from him. McMahon for Mendoza. The USL Championship, LA Galaxy 2 and the Rochester Rhinos from Sandlin Stadium in Rochester, New York. Aris. A solid header. The Rhinos slow it down. Mendoza. Chips up the near side. Diallo.
And Diallo's so strong, Mike. You see that right there in the evidence, the way he's shielding it, especially against Mendoza, who's been electrifying in this opening game, part of the game. Great pace down the line, some great service as well. He might be trying to pin back Franco as much as possible, tactical there.
Tosh, Forbes.
Whoa, what a great ball.
Over Oliveira. Sends the cross for Tosh, it's knocked away, and Diop challenged for the first time. McMahon keeps it in, headed back, touched by Dixon. Dixon goes down, and the official with no whistle. And Mendoza couldn't keep it in. McBean yanked. Diallo, 24 years old, started 20 games for Galaxy 2 last year. Alvarez turned over. Forbes makes a move past Walker. Through ball for Walls, but Forbes can't get it back. The Rhinos played a lot of games on the road early, grinded out results, 12 unbeaten on the road. When they came back from that long stretch, they knew they had a chance to secure home field if they were able to make Salem Stadium a fortress. They've done so. And it's a difficult place to play, especially for an LA team coming all the way across the country for the first time this season.
I'm sure the message from Bob Lilly is make sure they understand this is our home field. Make it a fortress, make it difficult to play. And the conditions now, the rain's let up. It's been fantastic right now. More of the crowd starting to pour in as well. There's Bob Lilly, constant instructions there through the midfield in that last line of defense. The one thing about LA, though, talking to Kurt Arnolfo earlier today, was that they're used to playing low-pressure defense. If Rochester does drop off, then they're able to kind of break that down. They have the patience, he believes, in his group to really get past that.
They lose a couple of forwards. Wall is having to chase quite a bit, so is Forbes and Dixon. As they're down Steven Dos Santos, 8 goals on the season. Red card in the most recent match against OKC. And also down Christian Valesky, who is the Combine MVP in the MLS Combine this season. 8 goals for him. That's 16 goals and a whole lot of effort out of the lineup.
Absolutely. You know, one of the things, Mike, you just talked about, let me take a look at this replay here. A little bit of shove in the back. Oliveira, that right-sided player who's left-footed, loves to come in. Keep an eye on him, cutting across the grain quite a bit centrally. Does a good job. Just mentioning that shape again, Mike. It's almost like a 4-3-3 that Rochester's trying to play. Look at this play.
Through ball for Forbes. And Diop charging out.
See LA getting caught a little bit with that high line in the back four. A little bit flat. The pass just a little bit heavy for Forbes. And it's interesting to see Sean Tosh, the number 4 from Rochester, sitting in that central midfield position. Normally we see Tony Walls sitting there. And again, that adjustment, there's Tony Walls being spoken to.
Walls played for the Milwaukee Wave. He was moved to a target forward position for a short amount of time.
There you go.
In his younger days. Moved to defense. They brought him in as a central defender. That's just what the team needed. This year move him to the midfield because he is so good at winning balls. He really is a renaissance man of sorts. Forbes. Forbes. Got it out for Garzi, who was injured earlier. He's knocked off the ball. Oliveira coming on. McBean and Lassiter to his left. Lassiter sends a cross. It's touched on the way in, and Miller dives. Down on the field, Heather Prusak has more as Tony Walls has been quite physical tonight.
Head coach for LA Galaxy 2, Kurt Anolfo, is very frustrated with the play of Tony Walls, constantly saying, you know, he's a good defender, but you know, he gets fouled all the time. So you can definitely see the frustration here down on the sideline of head coach Kurt Anolfo.
Rochester Rhinos had to be very physical against a fantastic Louisville City soccer team. You talk about Louisville, what a great expansion they've been this year under James O'Connor. They're getting knocked out 1-0, but they were very physical last game, and it paid off for them, getting a 1-0 win.
Mendoza has to clear it out, and some of those regional rivalries are becoming clear. Cincinnati will certainly be a regional rival with that Louisville team, and St. Louis also kind of in that Midwest region. Should be fun to watch some of the fans come out for that. Maybe the pride in Cincinnati. Whipped in for Lassiter and pulled down by Miller.
Yeah, we've had a great reaction from the fan base and the community at FC Cincinnati so far, and I know a lot of the fans right now are watching this this broadcast tonight, the USL Championship back in Cincinnati, and give them a wave, give them a hello. But yeah, the rivals are fantastic. USL, look at this ball in behind for McBean.
McBean sends it across, and the slide from Mendiola doesn't get there in time.
And right away, you can see Mendiola a little bit late to that ball, a little bit heavy in terms of the weight of the pass. Kurt Anolfo off his side, just saying, keep him up high and press that ball right away.
Mendiola, truly great article on USLsoccer.com about his return from a concussion, but 8 assists this year, 4 goals. As McBean all the way back in front of the defensive line. For LA Galaxy 2, it's been about continuity. Injuries, suspensions, first team call-ups, a player down for Rochester Rhinos.
You see Diallo just put this one out of play. And the challenge that came in, Jack McBean being strong from LA, holding the ball off there.
And that's Garzi again.
Yeah,
he was injured earlier in the game.
Yeah, he's needing treatment now.
The fans have come out in force here tonight for this game as championships in Rochester in soccer have come plenty over the years. Western New York Flash and Rochester Rhinos both here at Salem Stadium.
I see again Garzi marking tight Jack McBean. You see there as he shoves him off, both battling for the ball. I'm not sure if Garzi twisted his knee the way he was landing or fell. Kurt Anolfo instructed his team on how to establish a rhythm here away from home.
Heather said previously that they'd be monitoring him, Garzi that is, see how he holds up. As Walker and Lassiter talking shop. So the Galaxy kicked the ball out. And the Rhinos dutifully send it back to LA Galaxy 2. Away by Aris.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll keep an eye on Garzi if he's going to come in, or it look like they're warming somebody up right now. I think it's Samuels.
Asani Samuels hadn't played since September 24th until he played against Louisville last weekend. Nate Bordeaux, who was signed before the roster freeze, is getting loose as well. Bordeaux signed on August 25th. He's figured in prominently in the playoffs. McBean for Lassiter. Flicks it to the opposite side. Looking to strike. Leaves it off. Deflected on the way in. High hop. Miller grabs it as Kenny Walker tried to send it into the danger area. 33rd minute, no score between the Rhinos and Galaxy 2 in the shadows of the Kodak Building in scenic Rochester, New York. Salem Stadium, the USL Championship, matching up the winner of the Eastern Conference, the Rochester Rhinos, and the 5 seed in the Western Conference, LA Galaxy 2. Mendoza was hit by Franco. Collected by Tosh. And a sub will be coming on. The board is lit up at the 4th official. Looks like Bordeaux will be coming on for Garzi, who struggled with injury from the get-go tonight. Five substitutions in the USL. It maybe makes it hurt just a little bit less that you need to use one in the 35th minute.
So true, and with Bordeaux coming in, and tactically we'll see how Bob Lilly is trying to instruct. He was screaming out instructions there. Either he's going to come in and just fill the role of Garzi, or do they have to adapt again and change a little bit here?
Bordeaux transferred to Rutgers from Boston College, signed with his hometown team in Syracuse in the MISL, and came over, as I mentioned before, the roster freeze back on August 25th. A little bit of a give and go, and it's knocked out by Steris, the captain for LA Galaxy.
I see Obasi just getting a little bit more comfortable with that space and pushing forward, looking to combine, provide another threat there.
Dixon, 3 targets to choose from, puts it in for Bordeaux. The danger not over just yet as Mendoza puts it back in. And now cleared by the Galaxy, who work upfield. Diallo gets by Mendoza with a slick move. His cross deflected and hit by Apostolopoulos.
A great bit of skill there from Mendiola. Keep that ball alive and feed it to Diallo. Mendiola again, he's been very, very busy on the ball tonight, the number 40.
This time leaves the ball at Mendoza's feet. Rochester in the white, moving left to right under the lights, at home in the USL Championship final. Forbes pulled down. The foul goes against Diallo.
When you see Diallo anticipate that ball, it's a great run from McMahon out of the back, number 15. Right back for Rochester, looking to combine with Forbes. Diallo gets his foot on the ball, and then just that latter part of pulling the shoulder down. It's a great first tackle, though, from Diallo. Like him a lot.
Diallo in 20 games has picked up 5 yellows this year. He's been physical. Guilty this time, and last time we saw a foul from this area of the field, they aimed toward the back post, and Forbes hit it maybe a smidge too hard. Where are you going this time?
Well, again, he's trying to hit around the penalty spot area for Van de Castile. The time is run perfectly.
Sends it in, it's kicked wide right. And it was deflected on the way in for a corner, the first of the match for either side.
Well, you see that deflection there from Lassiter. A little bit of a pinball there off of Tosh. Looking to attack the ball. Corner kick for Rochester. Forbes on the ball. It's a wasted opportunity. That ball just going out of play.
An update on Mike Garzi with our Heather Prusak.
Doug Graham was looking at Garzi's right ankle, and I even asked, I said, you know, what's the injury? And Garzi just very frustrated said it's ankle. And right now, Doug Graham has got some ice there. He's got his cleat off. And as you can see, you know, he's on the bench right now. So again, clearly very, very frustrated.
Thanks, Heather. A disappointing end for the season of Mike Garzi, making his 20th start of the year. McBean, chased by Forbes, dishes it off for Franco.
Garzi having such a great season, Mike, you were just mentioning as a starter, his contributions, and he'll be missed in the midfield tonight. And it's always heart-wrenching as a player. You want to get to that championship. You want to get to the final. And then to walk off the field in the first half in an injury, it's got to be killing him right now.
And for all these players, an entire 6 months, an entire year of work, all leading up to one game. Walker, pushed by Walls. And again, that can't make Kurt Adolfo too happy as Walls came rushing in. Franco for McBean, and the player down in the back for Rochester.
Well, again, this ball getting played in. There's a challenge that comes in. A little bit after the play, off balance. Might have got caught by the bottom of the boot. Vasilios has scored the lone goal as a center back for them to get them here.
Apostolopoulos taking out the trash in front of the net, so to speak. Wasn't maybe the most beautiful goal, but when it wins you a game, they're all beautiful.
Yeah, he'll definitely take it right back in the net. You can tell by the celebration. Good sportsmanship here from Rochester, giving the ball back to LA Galaxy for the restart.
A chance for Apostolopoulos to come back on. Greek player scored in the 21st minute, as we mentioned, in the USL semifinal last week against Louisville City. Franco tries to send the ball in, but the defense for the Rhinos will clear it downfield. Clement Diop, the goal to make him a little better technically, a little bit better tactically, but they think the poise he's shown makes him a very good potential first-team prospect down the line for LA. Spoke with him briefly on the phone this week. He's played a very good season for LA Galaxy too. And to Castile for Apostolopoulos. For Forbes, the flag is down, and now it comes up. Forbes offside again.
Forbes trying to time his run, catch the high line of LA Galaxy. Well, they're stepping there. They've done a very good job committing the offside.
Turned over just as the Rhinos were starting to move upfield, and there's no whistle as the Rhinos take over again. Walls over the top, Bordeaux. And at the last moment, the Galaxy recollect the ball.
I see the throw in here going to Rochester. Just moments before this halftime. It's important from LA on the road that they're thinking to themselves, don't concede here late.
Coming up at the half, as maybe another highlight to add. Aris looking for Lassiter. Aris takes over again, and the Rhino defense seizes. Mendiola put it in. Franco. Aris. Franco. Sent in by Aris. Over Sorto. And down goes a player. Foul. But there were two behind. Certainly not the last line of defense.
Yeah, always a question. Does he take away a goal-scoring opportunity? Kenny Walker, late in the challenge, a little tug on the jersey. And you see Dixon trying to ask questions of that LA Galaxy defense on the break.
That's a yellow for him.
LA Galaxy 2's number 34, Kenny Walker. Caution issued in the 40.
Just the second he's accumulated this year. But USL President Jake Edwards will be on with John Harkes at the half. Look back at stats and highlights. Dixon, wide left. Rhinos with a good opportunity on the edge of the box, sends it to the middle. Dixon was there, and the shot blocked again. So a throw.
Rochester stepping up the pressure here, Mike. Forcing the turnovers. See Sean Tosh in the nod tonight, digging in, fighting in the midfield battle. Of course, as you always expect in the USL Championship Final, nothing comes easy.
Two-minute stoppage time.
There will be 2 minutes of stoppage time. 2 minutes.
Through ball, Lassiter chasing.
Check that. There will be 1 minute.
They've decided now just 1 minute of stoppage.
Oh, good pressure from Oliveira. And number 47 there. Talked about him coming across the green with his left foot. One last chance here. Corner kick for LA Galaxy before the end of the half.
So everybody forward for Galaxy 2 with time winding down in the first half. Set in and headed away by Apostolopoulos. Halftime. Rhinos and Galaxy 2 cannot find a goal, but open play in the first half. Plenty of opportunities. Neither side able to claim the opening goal just yet in the 2015 USL Championship Final.
Which are brought to you by Jaeger, Treviso, and Associates. 3 shots for your Rhinos.
Heather Prusak is down on the field. We've spoken about how impressive Jack McBean has been in this game.
Yeah, Jack's had a tremendous effort trying to find that space. It'll be interesting to see what Heather can find from Jack right now.
McBean standing by with our Heather Prusak.
Jack, obviously it seems like it's been difficult out there to get some space. What adjustments do you guys need to make in the second half?
Yeah, we just got to slow down. You know, the game's going pretty fast right now. Everyone's, you know, just rushing it a little bit, so we have to just slow it down and, you know, trust our game and play.
Overall, being out here in the elements, the cold weather, it's a championship game, how would you assess your first half performance?
Yeah, it's all right. You know, we didn't want to be behind at the end of the first half, and we're not. So obviously we'd like to have a goal, but you know, we're going to push and try and win this thing.
Thanks, Jack. Good luck.
Thanks.
381-35-30.
Off to the locker room. So McBean off to the locker room. Rhinos and Galaxy 2, no score between them. An expansive year for the USL this season. They're up to 29 teams, growing, one of the fastest growing leagues in the world. Standing by with John Harkes is USL President Jake Edwards.
Thanks so much, Mike. And joined here now by the USL President, Jake Edwards. Jake, first of all, congratulations on stepping up into the presidency role in this unbelievable league, a fast-growing league. What a great championship game it is tonight, and just your thoughts really quickly on this.
It's been a great first half. Two really good teams attacking each other, playing with their hearts on their sleeves. And I have to say, these Rochester Rhinos fans who are in tremendous voice here, and it's 40 degrees, it's just stopped raining, I think it started against. These are could be the toughest fans in our league, but it's a great atmosphere tonight.
Jake, tell us a little bit about the growth of this league. Quite often, you know, we hear about, you know, all the pyramid structures and the development that goes on. USL, fastest growing league in the country. Give us a little bit of a State of the Union address if you can.
Well, 2015 has been a really breakout year for our league, a very important year for the league. We've had a number of key initiatives that we've been working on that we've been able to launch and execute. Season. We started the year with our new brand. We'd worked on a new digital home. We'd worked hard on the broadcast, having all the games available via YouTube to a global audience. We'd welcomed no less than 13 new clubs into the league. So it's been a tremendous year for growth. We've focused on going into the right markets. We've focused on bringing the right ownership groups into our league who are adding a tremendous amount of value for our league, but for the game itself and growing the game, and committed to building great venues across the country. And so it's a testament to the work that all of our clubs and our owners are doing to advance the game here.
And what about Orlando Soccer Club? Talk to us. A great announcement yesterday about them coming into the league again. You know, you lost them after 6 years. You know, you talk about going into Major League Soccer and all the growth and the changes there. Yeah. Talk a little bit about the announcement you made yesterday.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting. So Orlando had 4 great years with us, and you know, made the move to MLS and had a really good first season at MLS, and joined the 5 USL teams that have moved on from the USL. We're very proud when a USL team has been able to achieve such a you know, something so special, and build a brand and build a fan base and build a great club, that they're able to move on to the MLS. It's an aspirational league, and teams should you know, should look to do that, and that's we fully support that. We're thrilled to welcome them back. They were a first-class organization in our league. They were successful on and off the pitch, and so, you know, they led the way. They set the benchmark that other teams have followed. We're very proud to have them back, and we know that's going to continue.
Well, expansion is very important, isn't it? And I'm very happy to be part of the group as well with FC Cincinnati. So Thank you, Jake, for joining us at halftime, and we look forward to a great second half. Yeah, my pleasure. Good luck. And can I just thank everybody that's followed the USL, all the fans that have followed our league and come out and turned out to all their teams in record numbers this year. So bigger and better things are in store for 2016, and I hope you keep supporting your clubs. Thanks, Jake Edwards here joining us at halftime. Look forward to the second half kicking off in just a moment.
Welcome back. The Rhinos and the Galaxy scoreless after 45 minutes. Let's take a look at the first half highlights, John.
Yeah, and this one just whipped in here. There's the handball at the top of the 18 from Rochester Rhinos, and it gives this opportunity here. It's Watch Miller here off the second strike from Oliveira, who's been fantastic for the LA Galaxy. Here he is trying to defend this cross here. Diop with the save. One more opportunity, Ariel Lassiter, Roy Lassiter's son, into the box here. A little bit deflection off of McMahon. Easy pickup there for Miller, trying to establish territory. The yellow card here to Kenny Walker. Yeah, you see Dixon asking what's going on. And this one just at the end of the half, another corner from Oliveira. Great distribution from him throughout the season on the Kern and Alfo.
Let's take a look at the first half stats. LA leads in shots 5-3. Offsides for Rochester cut down a couple of opportunities, didn't it?
Absolutely, and you see this game, everybody's trying to, at least establish a rhythm and find some space. We're still looking for that first goal, Mike. We might catch it second half here as we go to kickoff.
So there's a look at the first half stats. Corner kicks tied at 1. 6 fouls for the Rhinos, 5 for LA Galaxy. And of course, a yellow card issued as we saw in the highlights. The Rochester Rhinos hosting the 2015 USL Championship Final against the LA Galaxy 2. And after 45 minutes, no score. Welcome back to the USL Championship Final in Rochester, New York, alongside John Harkes, Mike Watts. Halftime here, and no score just yet. John, you just got a chance to talk with Jake Edwards. Exciting time for the league, huh?
Yeah, very much. And, you know, he's done such a great job, and everybody has, really, when you think about the USL and the growth that they've had. Not only are they looking for franchises to develop all over the country and really logistically doing a great job, but the ownership groups. And Jake had mentioned that also about the plans that they have in terms of the structure and the venues that are going to be playing. I know from our perspective, FC Cincinnati, we're very excited to be in Nippert Stadium at University of Cincinnati, but you see the growth and you see that it creates this energy, Mike, in this country, and I think that's also, you know, providing opportunities for younger players to step in at that professional level. So once again, the landscape changes. It's constantly changing in our country, and it's changing for the better.
Let's talk a bit about FC Cincinnati because, while the support group might be coming, as we talked about in the first half, and everyone seems excited, you actually have quite a challenge ahead of you. You have to build a team.
Well, thankfully, I have a great assistant coach in Ryan Martin as well, and our staff, Jeff Birding, our president, and you know, our ownership group and everybody that's in the front office, we're all in it together. And so we know there's a process. It's going to take time, you know, establishing relationships, building the team itself. And we just, the number one thing is, look, we know that there's going to be a great fan base there. And we also know that they want to see good soccer. So for us, we have to take a lot of pride in putting this team together and make sure that guys want to embrace wearing the FC Cincinnati jersey. And we're hopefully going to get there soon, but you know, it takes time. So we're really excited about that project that's ahead of us. And you know, as I said again, so far it's been very good. We've had great corporate sponsors, endorsement deals, Toyota jumping on board, UC Health, everybody. It's been fantastic. So we're really having a good, you know, good off the field. And we can't wait to get things started on the field.
And the University of Cincinnati putting a lot of money into Nippert Stadium. That's going to be a really fun place to play moving forward. Let's take a quick look back at the first half. We saw the highlights already, but your overview on that half.
Well, I think early, you know, you're trying to establish rhythm and territory. Two teams compete very hard, and they're not really giving a lot of breathing space to each other. So who's going to be that one player, to me, that stands out and says, I'll take the game now, give it to me? That accountability, that ownership of the ball itself, but the movement off the ball has got to be really kind of a little bit quicker in that up front position, because if you move up front, find them, pick your head up, find them early to feet, you might be able to establish that 1v1. We saw a little bit more from the Galaxy doing it, but I think Rochester's been so dangerous on their set pieces so far. It could come down to a set piece goal for the first goal, Mike.
No goals yet between these two sides as the teams are returning to the field of play. We'll have the head coach for Rochester out in just a moment as Bob Lilly has led this team to a first seed, 61 points, a historic season by all measures. A tremendous defensive performance from them all year long. Brandon Miller warming up down on the field, a couple of the players making their way back on. The Rhinos, a team that had been historically great for quite some time. They missed the playoffs in 2013, and they went back to the well. A coach who had succeeded at every level he's been at. And Bob Lilly, he has made the playoffs 13 years in his USL coaching career. He really runs the show here in Rochester and does a tremendous job of not only finding quality players in a variety of places, but also demanding a lot out of his team and getting them to play in a shape, getting them to play defensive soccer and still find a way to succeed offensively year in and year out.
Absolutely, and he's been a very good communicator, and as you say, you know, he has such a great respect from the players. You could tell that he is, you know, connected with the team, and he drives that ship very well. I'm still, you know, I'm curious about, Mike, in this second half is, you know, when is Rochester going to get the first shot on goal and really test Clement Diop? I mean, they haven't done that enough. They've had opportunities just wide over the bar a couple of times here and there, but they've got to get that first strike on goal. We'll see how long it takes for Rochester to establish that and see what kind of reaction comes from LA.
3 saves in the first half for Brandon Miller, a couple of them absolute beauties. The Rhinos didn't really get forced to make a save in this first half, but the pressure was there. We talked about it before the game. The corner kicks actually favored Rochester throughout the playoffs so far. They've applied pressure. They've scored goals in those other games, but this is a Rochester team that's applied that pressure throughout the last couple of games.
Well, they have. They know they've got to be tight. They close down the space as much as they can, and they try to press together as a group and as a unit. Physically, Mike, we've already mentioned that. I mean, you know, even against Louisville, they were very physical. I think there was 4 maybe yellow cards in that particular game at that point, plus the red card to Dos Santos, who's missing tonight. I think they're missing the big men. They really are. Kurt Analfo, who, you know, has managed this group very well in their second year as an LA2 team, doing such a great job. I mean, the number one thing for him is, can I get this balancing act? Can I get the development of the younger players in the academy and the first team? But Bob Lilly, well, he's with Heather right now, Mike. Let's throw it over to her.
Coach, it seems like your defense has been kind of frustrating LA's attack a little bit. What have you liked from your defense so far?
Well, I think we've done a solid job defending, but we're trying to win the game. So I'm hoping we're, you know, able to close the field and go forward, you know, in numbers. You know, I think we've relied just on the long ball. I think we can string more passes together. We just, you know, our passing's got to be a little bit quicker and the movement's got to be a little bit quicker.
Coach, any update on Mike Garzi?
Yeah, he's out. So, I mean, we already made the sub, you know, but Nate Bordeaux's played for us well here recently. So it's a chance for him to step up. Hopefully we'll use our depth tonight and be able to bring some guys that can impact the game.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
That's Bob Lilly with Heather Prusak down on the sideline. We've got quite the second half in store. A championship tonight in Rochester. A champion will be crowned. And we are underway as the Rhinos kick off with a false start. The clock's running on the scoreboard, too. And now we're ready. Second half underway. You know, the first half they went to the wrong side of the field. This time, at least they were going the right direction.
I think they're trying to confuse us up here, Mike, you know?
That one was for the fans at home. Ball lifted into the Rhino defense. And kicked out against the flag. There's McBean chasing.
Well, one thing that really, when Heather was talking to Bob Lilly, the one thing that stood out to me is that he said, we want to combine more. We want to make sure we link up a little bit better instead of being more direct, which he thinks they were in that first half. So keep an eye on that too, Mike, for the second half and the viewers at home. Will they be able to link up more, create a little bit more of a rhythm and establish that through the midfield?
Here they go. Walls leading the charge with Forbes. And stepping in at the last moment, Steris. Yellow smoke pouring out of the section to our right. The Oak Street Brigade and the Flower City Stampede, both providing tremendous fan support in Rochester. The Stampede to our left, the Brigade to our right. We talk about support in soccer, and you know, some of the great MLS teams in terms of fan support: Seattle and Vancouver, Montreal, Orlando City, all sprung up through MLS. It didn't just happen.
That's correct, and then you continue to see that the growth again in this country at every level, but the relationship too. And you know, Jake Edwards, the president, at halftime talking, you know, about that with MLS and some of those MLS2 teams that are emerging and coming out, but also the standalone clubs that have been here from day one. It's fantastic to see them, both of them here present tonight in the championship final.
Head by Sorto, off of McBean. Goal kick coming for the Rhinos. Rhinos in the white jerseys. They'll move right to left towards the close end of Salem Stadium. It looks like maybe a little bit of trouble there going up to the end line for Raul Mendiola.
Yeah, he looked a little bit ginger the way he was reacting to that.
We'll go together. Here we go. Go ahead, go into it. Jog there and back. Jog there and back. Here we go.
Now kicked out.
I will keep an eye on Mendiola, see if he continues. Looks like Kurt Analfo already down on the sideline.
He saw that too.
Yeah.
Nacho Maganto will be subbing on.
High knees down. Then jog back.
That'll be the first sub for LA Galaxy 2. Rochester made one in the first half as Garzi went out due to injury. Tosh.
And here it is, right here, Mike, you just talked about Maganto coming in as a sub. Curtin Alfo not taking any chances here. Mendiola, as he went for that ball, he tried to keep it in play over the end line. But I'm wondering, though, if this is something that carried over from the first half. Quite often at halftime, the conversation would be, let me see how I can maybe play through it first couple of minutes. And that preparation for a sub maybe to come on. And he's not happy either coming off so early. You could tell, look at the anguish on his face. Competed very well, Mendiola, tonight.
Mendiola, homegrown player for LA Galaxy. And he cedes to a player in Maganto who played at Iona, an extraordinarily creative player, very good for the Gales over his career, and was one of the later draft picks for LA Galaxy. They liked his ability to create, and they bring him on here in a key situation, neither team having scored yet. Dixon, Steris, and now Diop. Again, not challenged, but he puts it over the top. Lassiter running after it with Apostolopoulos near him, and he fires a shot wide.
Well, trying to catch that back line. A little bit of surprise there. Great distribution over the top from Diop. A bit lucky as well. And you see Lassiter lashing onto this, trying to get a quick strike off. He's a bit off balance, technically good. Just doesn't catch the goal frame to test Miller. Lassiter, that presence, that speed that he has. Would like to see he and Jack McBean combine a little bit more. Establish that rhythm, that combination play, if they can, for LA.
Let's go down to the sideline with Heather Prushak.
Well, you guys just saw Mendiola come out. He's done for the game, and Curtin Alfo just told me that he was throwing up at halftime. He's dizzy, not feeling very good, so that's why you just saw the substitution for LA Galaxy 2.
A good reason for him to come out. Sorto was trying to connect with McBean, and looks like a sick man down there.
Yeah, not good. And certainly, like I was just mentioning there, it's like, Curtin Alfo wants to give him every opportunity. Can you run it out and maybe feel better? Obviously, that's not the case. Have to make changes. This is the championship final. You can't waste time. You've got to make the change. And they're allowed 5 subs, as you said, earlier on in the rules in USL. He's got to get a player on there that can compete.
We spoke about how good he was in the first half. You never would have known that he was sick. And Sorto swan dives into the sideline.
A little bit of extra pressure there from Dixon as he's chasing this play out of this one, just trying to shield it out. A little bit of a shove there. Embellishing a little bit more. Got the call. Brandon Castile has been solid in that back there, reading the play, dropping off just a little bit for any direct balls there from LA in the top.
The captain, Steris, jumped at the opportunity to come to LA Galaxy. They needed a little bit more experience on this team, a lot of young players, and Steris has fit right in, and he's just been a tremendous leader and on the field player for this team this year.
Good early ball. That's better from Kenny Walker. You've seen him come forward at times throughout the season. He's played in the first team under Bruce Arena. Dave Sarakin. A lot of fans enjoying this one. Staying warm there, wrapped up, Mike. You see that?
This is as cold a game as LA Galaxy has played in all year, and yet these fans, it's Rochester. They don't go home when it's cold.
You saw a lot of blankets there, though.
Yeah, you still have to prepare.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Here, first corner, the second half for LA Galaxy. Second corner, sorry.
Nodded away easily by McMahon. Sent back in toward Lassiter. Bobbled by Miller as he pushes it down to the turf and pulls it in.
Again, you still anticipate with the conditions, Mike, being slick surface, really wet. You know, who's going to be that guy that starts saying, I got to hit the target, test the keeper, see if I can get a rebound off of him, follow up. Not a lot of space here, not a lot of freedom to get those shots off. You got to create it on your own.
Off of Tosh, the pride of Northern Illinois University. That whistle blows, so a big opportunity here for Rochester to maybe change the flow of the game as they've been maybe a bit back on their heels in the second half.
Mendoza in the first half on the right was very busy, good energy up and down that flank. Has shifted here to the left side on the ball right here. Again, standing out as a player for me, Mendoza. Having a great night so far for Rochester Land. It's a throw in deep in that corner there, Mike. It's hard to see around the camera, all the fans here standing up.
Up by Bordeaux, and off of Mendoza. Johnny Mendoza played for Orlando City. He's the only player playing here tonight who has played in the USL final previously. He won in 2013 with the Lions. Walls played in, and the whistle blows.
And Mendoza, Jack McBean having a little feisty, you know, pushing and shoving contest. Curtin also letting the referee know his thoughts there as he's close by. Maybe a little bit too close for the referee.
Nima Sagaffi is the referee tonight. So Lassiter, part of the wall. Mendoza to put the ball back in play for the Rhinos. Aimed at the back post. There's room there. Tosh flying in. Forbes. Again, played the ball. Apostolopoulos tried to switch the point of the attack. Sorto pushed down. Everybody charges back. Bordeaux, the sliding challenge, and they bring it back.
Just watching off the ball here, Jack McBean closely marked throughout this game. I mean, you know, if it's not Obasi on him right now, then it's Vanta Castile pushing him and shoving him and getting on top of him. Not giving him a lot of space.
Yeah, Bordeaux was assessed a yellow card caution.
A yellow card caution has been issued to Rochester's number 17, Nate Bordeaux.
Diallo coming forward. We talked about how good he is as a defender, but again, one of the targets in the box here for this set piece.
Sorto.
Great ball.
A ton of room. Oliveira. Obasi. Oliveira keeps it in. Battling with Obasi. And it's kicked out.
Well, he had him beat the first time. I thought he was going to see the service. There was 5 players from LA in the box screaming for it. Oliveira electing to one more cut on the ball. And again, you see the way he competes for the ball, Rossi. Very strong. Completely different size there as well. Offset a little bit.
Obasi, 6'4".
Oh, great
Corner
ball.
set in. It's headed, and it's off the top of the net. And it's another corner coming up. Last touch by a Rhino.
Wow, that's a great ball. Brian Oliveira whips this one into the near post. You see Jack McBean on the ball challenging, though, gave a corner there. You're right, Mike.
The Galaxy and the Rhinos trying to break through in the USL 2015 championship final. Sent across again for McBean, and nodded away by Dixon. It's loose in the middle of the box, a shot, and it's knocked away, but offside flag was up. Miller was up to the challenge regardless.
Yeah, Miller did a good job, but Jack McBean coming a little bit late towards the ball, definitely offside, the right call.
Fans, you can reserve your 2016 Rochester Rhinos.
We'll see here as it comes out. It's tough to see. Is he coming late? Yeah, he's coming there. A little bit more pressure from the LA Galaxy in the last few minutes here.
60th minute in Salem Stadium in Rochester, New York. A championship town and a championship ambition for the Rochester Rhinos, the champions of the Eastern Conference, the most points amassed over the course of the 2015 USL season. LA Galaxy, a history of winning at every level. The Reserve League, the MLS, as they visit Rochester for the first time this season, seeking to add their first USL championship. So far scoreless, but chances galore. Problem for Rhinos fans is that they have not seen one save from Clement Diop. He is yet to face pressure directly, but in every way the Rhinos have shot at him. They've put the ball in the area and just haven't put it between the sticks.
Yeah, you're right. They haven't established that yet. They're trying to create that room up front for them as much as they can. Again, another great touch from Mendoza, taking the ball into control. Mendoza having some conversation there with Lilly. Bob Lilly was telling him he wants him a little bit higher up the pitch there, get closer to Tony Wall. And number 20 for Rochester, normally in a deep position lying there, winning the ball and distributing, but now pushed up high. Again, the changes. Dos Santos red carded from the Louisville game in the semifinal, sent off. Valesky, the other striker, he's out with a concussion. They've had to adapt.
Mendoza. Bordeaux off of Obasi, sent back in, and whipped past Forbes, who catches up.
Yeah, you see Alex Dixon was hiding on the side, kept that ball in play. Great service, great delivery. Still, as you said though earlier, Mike, Rochester have not tested Diop at all. It's still no shots on goal.
A throw coming for the Galaxy too, as a sub will be coming on in just a moment for the Rochester Rhinos. Sean Tosh, who got the surprise start, will be coming off momentarily for Colin Rolfe, who has dealt with a hamstring injury since August, rounding into form. The third man in this tremendous striking group, but with Valesky and Dos Santos out, it's been a bit more of a struggle here. Up the left wing, sent in for Lassiter. Punched away by Apostolopoulos. Tosh, Forbes. And you can see the frustration, particularly from Dixon at the top, as they've struggled to connect enough passes to get him the ball.
Absolutely. Just that final breakdown. Good ball here over the top to Lassiter.
Has McBean racing down the middle, and down goes Lassiter. He was trying to cut back, and he was pulled on the way.
He's got the pace to get him behind and always threaten that, stretch the game out a little bit. Pat McMahon coming in, getting the late challenge. Lassiter still down on the pitch. Here's a replay right here. There's a little bit of a Cruyff from Lassiter. He's done well, Mike, as you said, making the most of his opportunity, banging the goals in as of late.
Lassiter, we mentioned it in the open, the son of Roy Lassiter. It's pretty incredible that we're
yeah, we got to play together.
Reaching the
DC United, fantastic goal scorer.
And Rolf will be coming on. We mentioned Tosh would be coming off.
A surprise start for Tosh. Actually, you know, good quality player, but just tactically a different change. I thought Rolf was going to be the high player there. Looks like they might bring Tony Walls back into that holding midfield and bring Rolf on up top.
Hold it, boys, hold it.
Set piece here for LA.
So Tosh will stay. Rolf awaits on the sideline. Although in this situation, maybe you do want Tosh in this moment on the set piece. It may well benefit the Rhinos. Set in, headed off the crossbar, and now it's in. The opening goal of the USL Championship Final. Lassiter.
Tremendous ball in. We talked about making the most of the opportunities. I said it to you at halftime, it could be a set piece that opens up this game. Oliveira, the flick on there. Lassiter following up the initial strike off the bar. And maybe Miller gets a piece of it right here. He does, he gets his hand on it. Tremendous there on the first save. And a great second follow-up there from Ariel Lassiter. On the score sheet once again. He's really made the most of his opportunity as a young player. Fantastic goals.
4 goals in 3 games as Tosh comes off in favor of Colin Rolfe. And it's a good time to bring Rolfe on. They now need instant offense against this Galaxy 2 side that is yet to concede a shot on goal.
Again, Oliveira, his set pieces, his delivery has been exceptional throughout the year, but more so tonight. Dangerous player and a great flick on at the near post from LA Galaxy. Always difficult to defend, Mike, because the commitment that comes forward makes it really hard for the goalkeeper to get set. Brandon Miller did the best he could, got a hand on the first shot, did very well. But you need the defense there to turn and follow, especially when you got a guy like Lassiter. You know he's always sniffing out. He's an opportunist.
He's looking for the opportunity here. He chips the ball wide to Oliveira, but picked up by Miller, who's made 4 saves tonight. These fans have something new to cheer for with the Galaxy ahead.
Yeah, as you said,
outnumbered.
Yeah, absolutely. The home advantage is that fan. You know, can they be the 12th player on the field for them?
And McMahon kicks it out. Ari Lassiter in the playoffs cannot be stopped. 2 goals against Orange County, a goal against Oklahoma City Energy. He has now scored 11 goals in his last 16 games in all USL competitions. We mentioned it a bit before the goal. The timing convenient, but Roy Lassiter playing with DC United, 27 goals in 96, 88 his career in MLS. You never saw Ari around the training ground at all, did you?
Yes, we did. He was with my son Ian, and quite often they would talk about the game and play, and it would just be fun to watch them. Here, a challenge coming in late.
Looks like Dixon is the guilty party.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to get stuck in there too. A little bit more pressure on Kenny Walker in the midfield, number 34. And Dixon again trying to find the game. There's a little bit of a challenge. Looked like an offside though. Couldn't tell from this side. Again, you were mentioning, you know, Ariel scoring goals and following in his footsteps of Roy. Well, he got an opportunity and a privilege to play with Roy. Great combination. It's fantastic to see him putting the ball in the back of the net. Now to see Ariel doing it, the next generation coming through. That's what you love about the growth of the game in this country. It's fantastic.
It helps that his favorite player growing up was almost assuredly his dad. Although maybe you like the young John Harkes too.
No, I'm sure he's like, I want to break your goal scoring record. That's what he's trying to do. Well, this is, you know, what we expected, you know, coming into the second half, Mike. You know, different opportunities. Whoever gets on the score sheet first. We'll see how the game opens up now. Sometimes the game dictates to you. Other times you've got to go and make the game. We'll see what kind of reaction we get, response from Rochester Rhinos here at home in front of their own crowd.
Obasi. Now Miller, 4 saves, including a crucial one to keep the ball out of the net. But it wasn't enough. His team trailing the Rhinos, rather the Galaxy 2. The Rhinos trying to stage a comeback. They score first very often, but it's worth noting that in the few times, as Heather Prusak reported earlier in the game, that they have not scored first, they've drawn each time 1-1.
Correct.
Van de Castile, Apostolopoulos, turned over to Oliveira.
Brendan Miller doing a great job clearing his lines, getting that forward. And as I mentioned before about Tony Walls, tactically the change that Bob Lilly made for the start of the game, pushing him very high, bringing Tosh in to that midfield. Now you see Tony drop back into that center midfield position, looking to establish a rhythm again for Rochester.
Off with Rolf. Forbes pressing. Knotted forward by Franco. Van de Castile there. Let's go down to Heather Prusak, who has more.
He's been communicating with Johnny Mendoza a lot, telling him to get higher, push up a little bit more.
Speaking about Johnny Mendoza, here's a chance. Dixon, the cross, and it's headed away by the Galaxy defense.
Great turn by Dixon, finds some space. And he drills this one across near post. Stedes with the defensive clear. Leading to this corner here, Rochester trying to get a response.
Cross to the back post. Again, the first to get ahead. The Galaxy looking for a handball. And they say it was off the head of the defender. And out for a goal kick.
Jack McBean doing his best there. Defensive shape, getting back again. Grant Van de Castile competing here. Here's the ball as it bounces up. It hits him in the face, actually. You hear the 12th man in the crowd here asking for a handball. De Castile trying to apply pressure.
It's bad enough to put one right off your beak.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
to be blamed for a handball.
It's got to be a bit sore there. Tony Walls, great win in the midfield there. Sets his, Mendoza's been fantastic first and second half.
And he is pushing forward more here. Bordeaux, Obasi. Rhinos trying to tie it up in the 73rd minute. McMahon, Mendoza. The Galaxy 2 compact. takes over and starts it the other way. Lassiter, the goal scorer in the 64th. McBean. Lassiter, the lone entity in the 18. The throw coming for the Galaxy. Rhinos fans on the edge of their seats. Could this be the end of one of the greatest regular seasons in USL history by all standards? It would be a devastating defeat in the USL Championship final. This crowd has been waiting to erupt since the opening minute. Covarrubias will be coming on for Galaxy in a moment.
Again, as Obasi picks his head up, tries to find it, trying to do the timing for Dixon to find him. There's another stretching ball over the top. Oh, Diop almost coming out of his goal there, Mike, trying to go for the ball a little bit in judgment. But again, just trying to find the timing and the rhythm. Can you find that target man? If it's going to be Dixon high, can you find him early to feed? And even Rolf, who's coming in the second half, establish some type of, then you can link up and bring players into the game.
Brian Oliveira's coming off, and on comes Covarrubias. You thought Oliveira played a very good game.
Oliveira, very instrumental in the attack. Dangerous, always on the ball. Set piece delivery, fantastic.
Oliveira scored in the game against Sacramento in the 13th minute. And he's instrumental today in helping the Galaxy take a 1-0 lead back in the 64th minute. And the wires are crossed for Mendoza.
Come on, boys. Nike is a proud partner of the USL. Follow it, Nike Soccer, on Twitter for all the
Mendoza,
latest
born in Colombia, family moved to Orlando when he was age 16. Had a chance to play with Orlando City in the USL back in 2013. Won the USL championship with that group. And again, the back pass for Mendoza is intercepted. Mendoza chasing it down, but Covarrubias takes over.
Yeah, difficult ball played into Certo.
Van de Castile played with Dylan Powers. Youth-wise, was drafted by the Rapids, where Powers won Rookie of the Year, playing central defense for Rochester and directing the attack when the ball reaches the defensive third.
And Van de Castile has been excellent tonight, anchoring that center back position. Good leadership, distribution. Done a good job.
Brought ahead, launched on the ground, tagged on the way through. Diop keeps it in. And they're looking, it was last touched by Diallo.
Yeah, it was a deflected ball. It looked like Diop kept it in though, Mike. I'm not sure about the argument there. Maybe if we have a different angle.
Bordeaux, time slipping away from the Rhinos. They've trailed now for 13 minutes. On the ground for McBean, pushed from behind. Play continues. Mendoza circumvents Sorto. And now the service is popped into the air and pulled by Diop.
Again, Mendoza continues to probe. He's asking questions. He's running the ball individually, trying to take that responsibility on, Mike. We talked about at halftime. Who's going to be the one player from Rochester? Mendoza's been that guy first and second half.
McBean whistled for the foul. And a sub coming on. We saw him warming up a little bit early in the game. Sonny Samuels will be joining the action momentarily. The 2015 USL Championships on ESPN3 and YouTube. And interestingly, it looks like Samuels will come on to provide some attacking presence, but who will come off in his place in question. Off of McBean. And now the subs are coming. You see Samuels coming on. Bordeaux, who came on as a sub in the first half, is coming off.
Well, I just wonder if this is protecting him from an injury or if this is a tactical change. Again, as Bob Lilly tries to adjust his team to find ways to get back in, and the LA Galaxy was sub as well.
Tommy Meyer coming on. He started and played all 90 in the 2012 MLS Cup final for LA Galaxy. A win against Houston paired with Omar Gonzalez.
Yeah, he comes in for Certo and Tommy Meyer. Great experience, as you said, and you know, being able to get time and compete for the first team under Bruce Arena. Here, understanding his role and stepping in to help out the LA Galaxy too on the road in this championship final.
Oh, Covarrubias between Obasi's legs. Aris keeping it alive. Up the left wing. Brought down. Maganto goes down. And a yellow card comes.
You see the pressure there. Again, there's another set piece, and Mike, it's dangerous. You know, you start to chase the game a little bit. You lose the discipline, another yellow card going out, and a set piece right in the exact place of the goal that we saw. Again, defensive shape, but Oliveira is off the pitch, right? He can't distribute here. See who steps up.
Oliveira had several opportunities off set pieces, corners and free kicks alike. Galaxy looking to double their lead.
Autos on the ball. Excellent delivery from him.
Sends it on net, and Miller yanks it down.
Good hands from Brandon Miller. Very sure of himself. No rebound whatsoever. Again, we talked about the wet conditions here, the rain earlier on in the first half, and
All USL playoff matches.
good play from Brandon Miller.
We spoke with Kurt Adolfo this week a bit about the championship legacy that Bruce Arena and the LA Galaxy organization has put together. He talked about learning to be a championship coach from the way that Bruce runs his program and all the players that they've brought in and out of his team, and yet this group again appears on the verge of adding another trophy to the very extensive case of the LA Galaxy organization.
Yeah, I think you know, Rochester will argue there's still a lot of time left in this game, but as you say, I got to share the field with Kurt and Alpha, you know, at UVA, but also at DC United. So yeah, being under a guy like Bruce Arena, understanding how to compete and how to win, it's fantastic. As we see the competition here, it continues again. Autos being taken down in the midfield. He just took that last free kick. He might be on this one as well.
And he is in another dangerous position. Lassiter standing on one side, and he steps over Aris.
Yeah, you could tell Ardos, you could see his approach to the ball. He wasn't ready. You know, he just, that's the result. You know, he wasn't focused and concentrated. He's put in a great effort so far tonight. Tremendous player.
With some of the best views of Rochester. And be sure to join us after tonight's match.
Rubius, Aris, Lassiter, McBean, the give and go, and offside. Lassiter skied the shot anyways. He throws his arms up.
And again, that great layoff. I don't think he was off when the ball was played. That's a tight one. You saw Jack McBean put his hands on his head. Again, Lassiter with a great layoff there, and great change of direction, just looking for the ball and behind, threatening. Great chase down from Pat McMahon, pushing forward here as a fullback for Rochester.
Walls spins out, finds McBean. '85th minute of the USL Championship game in Rochester, New York. Salem Stadium. And a heavy foul. And look at Forbes, he is jazzed up.
That was a very, very late challenge, reckless as well.
Nacho Maganto.
Yeah, Maganto.
Take yellow.
Definitely going in the book for that one. Very late challenge. There it is right there. No chance that he's going for the ball.
Travis Bowen awaits to come on. Ari Lassiter will be coming off the field momentarily, but not yet. And the subboard put away.
Apostopoulos in there as a target. Van de Castile, Obasi. Great opportunity here for Rochester.
Sent in by Forbes. Headed wide and it falls. Van de Castile for Mendoza, who slides and keeps it in. Running in Obasi and an equally solid slide to take it away. And over the top for Lassiter. Lassiter looking for two, and he loses the ball.
Great one-on-one. Yeah, very good one-on-one. You were just going to say, Mike. Pat McMahon getting back there. Thought they were going to catch him on the break. Good service over the top to Lassiter. Now Rochester shifting momentum, Mike, right away. You can see the pressure coming.
Headed by Covarrubias. Galaxy pinned back by the Rhinos, the home side. They led USL this season wire to wire. Mendoza, just one loss this year. Undefeated at home, 14-0-2. Everybody in the attacking half for Rochester with 3 minutes left before stoppage. And away from Rolfe. Taken from Covarrubias. And the crowd on the edge of delirium with every turnover. Forbes. Service on the ground is deflected away. McBean sends it back across midfield.
Now you see how deep Jack McBean, how much does he want this championship? He's dropped all the way back 25, 30 yards out from his own goal trying to defend. Again, Rochester with the ball possession here and really establishing the territory. Great ball in from Mendoza for Walt.
Over the top for Rolfe. The flag is up for offside. Diop would have gotten it anyways.
And it looks like another change here, Mike, for LA.
It is Bowen, and it is for Lassiter.
No, again, this ball, a little chip over the top here. Rolf just behind that back line. 1 second too soon. And Lassiter, the goal scorer, coming off.
64th minute, Ari Lassiter, his 4th goal of the postseason. All the more impressive when you consider he was suspended for 1.
He's done well. His dad and mom and everybody will be proud of him tonight. His contributions. Travis Bowen coming on for Lassiter, and good experience from Bowen as well.
Bowen did start in place of Lassiter at forward against Sacramento when Lassiter was out.
Unbelievable, Mendoza. He never runs out of energy, wants the ball all the time.
Final minute before stoppage. Covarrubias chests it down and back to midfield. Ball's going the other way. Mendoza. Slides into the ball, and with about 10 seconds left before stoppage, this is the chance that the Rhinos have been waiting for.
Yeah, a little bit reckless there from Jack McBean. He wants to defend, but again, Mendoza always putting the pressure on this back line of LA.
3 minutes of stoppage time. Mendoza, headed by Aris, and Diop tried to pull it in, a corner kick. These fans are rowdy, they want an equalizer. Mendoza, headed, and it's in! The Rochester Rhinos have tied it in stoppage time!
And Samuels, Asani Samuels came in as a sub. Terrific ball in the box. We talked about getting that first shot on goal. It comes so late in the game, and Samuels with the equalizer. And he just gets across the front of Diop. He comes for this ball. Great header. Slight deflection, but again, it's all Samuels. Watch how he leaps here. Dangerous ball in a congested area. Diop, second best there for that one. And LA Galaxy will be scratching their heads, thinking they had this one as it went late. You never give up. And that's the attitude from Rochester. You talked about this 12th man, the fan base here. They got up for them, and substitute Asani Samuels equalizing here. They go into added extra time.
The Rhinos finally find the equalizer. Ugarte coming on for the Rhinos. New life, and Mendoza injured as he sent that terrific corner right to the goal mouth.
To me,
what couldn't he do?
Unbelievable, Mendoza. What a display from this player tonight. He's been fantastic. What a driving force to get his team back into this game.
The Rhinos tie it up in the 2nd minute of stoppage time. And there are fans cheering them on for one more. Samuels.
See that ball a little bit forced from Forbes there, but again, the energy of Tony Wall in that midfield. Tony Wall's number 20, center midfield, now for Rochester. Started high in the beginning of the game, dropped back tactically where he normally plays. Just that ball winner again. He is challenging in the air. McMahon on that one.
Looking for Samuels. And Samuels wins the ball, but quickly dispossessed. Stoppage time continues to tick on. A chance for McMahon. The goal certainly added to stoppage time, but even with that, time may be running short. And there it is. 90 minutes, not enough. The Rhinos with heroics from Samuels in the final minutes to tie the match in stoppage time and send it to extra time.
Well, we asked for a response from Rochester, and you got it. Lamont Diop coming for that ball. Mendoza with the excellent service into a dangerous area there. And we talked about guys coming on the pitch and making a difference, making an impact. Asani Samuels with the header. There he is, the big man. Great position for him, and he's got the equalizer tonight.
6'5".
Extra time consists of 2.2 halves. The entire halves will be played. This is not a golden goal event.
Let's take a look back at the second half highlights, the 2 goals. First, Lassiter.
Yeah, great flick on there. You see the header off the bar, saved by Miller. Lassiter on the doorstep for the rebound. And that opened up the scoring there in the second half for LA. Talked about the response. Great ball in, and there he is, the header. Samuels gets to the ball first. Great equalizer there. Look at that celebration. Is he happy? Yes, he is. Saline Stadium, they erupted, pushing their team on. They're back in it, 1-1. See how many more changes are left here in terms of adapting style of play as well, Mike. And who's going to try to, is it a drop off, absorb pressure in this? Or is it kind of, can we go in and press that back line and force the issue? We'll see how the tactical changes here happen in this overtime.
Samuels hot dogging it there with that backflip. It might be a bit ironic that Salem Stadium named for the great hot dog producer. Heather Prusak is down on the sideline. She's got more from the field.
Well, head coach Bob Lilly was telling his team in the huddle that whoever wins the second ball in this overtime will win the game. So he's really trying to tell his team to, get to the ball, win the ball, and that's really what he says the key to this game will end up being.
Thank you, Heather. And that's something that in the last half an hour of play, Rochester really stepped up once the Rhinos had fallen behind.
Well, at this point, you're talking about the attitude now. You're talking about players who step up, understand how to compete, how to battle, chase down everything, win the second ball, but establish, what you want to do on the field. And that's the questions right now that are being asked of this Rochester team by Bob Lilly. And I can assure you on the other end from Curtin Alfo and his staff, the preparation is, hey, look, don't panic, continue to do what you do. Let's establish a rhythm, get the chemistry, get the ball again as much as we can. And now we'll see as well. We'll listen to maybe Heather down on the sideline. She was there creeping over the back of Curtin Alfo. Heather?
Yeah, Curtin Alfo is telling his team that it's time to start playing our game. They're tired. We've got good formations out on the field, so that's really what he's stressing is to, kind of expose the Rhinos, some of their fatigue a little bit.
Thanks, Heather. And the weather certainly not something that LA Galaxy are used to. They've traveled all the way to the East Coast. Now they go to extra time. They've played 3 games in the playoffs. The Rhinos only played 2. Maybe a little bit different level of energy left for this group, but nothing to leave behind this year.
Again, we talk about, Mike, players who show up in big occasions, Samuels is a player who says, I'll come off the bench. I understand my role. I'm going to be a guy that can really press on that back line of the Galaxy. He gets the equalizer off the set piece in the corner there. And now you're wondering, too, who's going to step up from this Galaxy team? You've come away from home. You're a West Coast team. You've done so well on the road. The mentality's been great. You get the first goal of the game, on a set piece, but do they have enough in those individuals to rise to the occasion here and say, I'm going to step up and make a difference in this second half? Patience is very important. Very important. Do not go chasing the game right now.
Especially because there are two 15-minute overtime periods. Golden goal does not exist. Even if you score in the first 20 seconds of overtime or extra time, that's not nearly enough. If you chase the game and you run out of gas with 10 minutes to go in the second extra time period, you could still very well lose the lead you've already gained. So this is a no golden goal situation with 30 minutes to play.
Well, again, Travis Bowen coming in very late towards the end of the game. You know, I'm sure Curtin also and the players too are looking for fresh legs, fresh ideas. Can he compete? Can he move off the ball and maybe be that target guy up high and link up with Jack McBean a little bit like we saw Ariel Lassiter do in that throughout the game.
With John Harkes, Heather Prusak on the sideline, Mike Watts at the 2015 USL Championship Final, one which has slowly risen up, and the action has really reached a frenzy in the final minutes. 64th minute goal from Ari Lassiter for Galaxy 2. The substitute coming off the bench, Asani Samuels, scoring in extra time. Why not another 30 minutes to this 6-month adventure that is the 2015 USL season? Nightfall in Rochester. There was concern about the rain. It was here early, gone late. This time tomorrow may well be snowing at Salem Stadium. Tough conditions for these athletes that will give until there's nothing left with this extra time in mind. Taken by Bowen. Rolf, who came off the bench tonight. Whistle blows as the white jerseys of Rochester will take possession, moving left to right in extra time period number 1.
Well, again, Heather was reporting there about Bob Lilly and what he was saying. Can we pick up the second ball right away in the extra time here, the overtime? You're seeing the second ball being picked up by Rochester, the competition through that midfield. That's going to drive the game.
Samuels, all 6'5" of the Jamaican. Nobody's there. Ugarte trying to get the overlapping run. This is the second USL championship since 2011 to go to extra time. The previous effort went to penalties. And Samuels pushing. Taken by Diallo. Franco off the foot of Dixon. Ball to Forbes. He's been the most consistent player to serve the ball in the run of play for Rochester tonight. Although Walls will get a restart, and now Forbes will take it.
Again, we saw the start of this game, the erratic pace, the back and forth. I think the team that kind of establishes that one extra pass, that link up, and that rhythm in their game is going to have a little bit more opportunities, to get that winner. Just having that patience now, Mike, is the hard part, because when you're fatigued, when you become heavy-legged, what ends up happening? Well, you make mistakes. So you're looking at the mentality of the players now to stay focused, to really be clean with their touches, to try to link up and combine as much as possible and create those openings.
The last meeting between these two teams, the USL quarterfinals last year in Los Angeles. Galaxy 2 with a 2-1 win over Rochester. The regular season last year, these two teams met, but being in different conferences this year, no meetings between these sides. They saved the best for last. Maganto, but the other 15 leaps in front. McMahon, Forbes, and between two attacking forces.
The game seems to be played directly down the middle, and they've got to really open up the wings here and stretch out the game a little bit more.
Bowen out-muscled for the ball. Sliding in, Walker taken by Forbes. Player down all the way back for LA Galaxy. The cross! And they were looking for the number 9. Colin Rolfe. Forbes. And they kick it out. Bowen, who came on as a substitute, was down. And the fans, not a fan, as he went down in that previous effort.
Yeah, Tony Walsh just coming in from the side, and maybe an innocuous challenge with the elbow. The arm maybe caught him a bit. I don't know. I saw a good challenge from Tony Walsh, focused on the ball.
Yeah, look at him. He's fine.
Hard man through the midfield. Good sportsmanship again from Rochester to put the ball out of play, and LA giving it back to him.
The host team has won all 4 games in USL's modern history since 2011. The Rhinos trying to keep that streak going. An extra time goal from Samuels. Oh, nice move inside for Dixon. The cross, and it's touched away near the goal line. But that's the best connecting play we've seen all night.
Great defensive play from Staros. He seemed to just be in the right spot. You really thought that Rochester was going to capitalize on that. Great little back heel from Rolfe. Excellent combination play. Just put that in behind for Dixon.
A play like that brings a smile to your face, no matter which side you're on. What an impressive back heel. The near side assistant referee said it was the throw for the Galaxy. Covarrubias. Bowen sends it in for McBean. Walker. Meyer. Miller. And Miller was in the midst of it. He was able to punch it away, but a foul against the Galaxy 2.
We'll see that combination. We just see that Tommy Meyer coming late here. Good service. A late challenge from Jack McBean, referee, giving the free kick. And earlier we had that combination play at the end. Colin Rolfe with that great backhand, back heel, sorry. Yeah, Rochester. And just looking for that killer pass, both teams, Mike. You know, a little bit more patient and just establish connectivity. One more extra pass through the midfield. Keep it simple.
Halfway through the first extra time session, 2 15-minute extra time periods, regardless of goals scored.
Oh.
1 goal won't be enough. Walker switches sides.
Great vision from Walker, just to open up the game a little bit. There's that experience through the midfield.
You mentioned of late things have been played right down the center. Covarrubias trying to change the flow. Can't find the room for service.
He's looking for an option, somebody else to link up with him. Nobody in support.
Franco. Meyer whips it towards the net. McMahon there, along with Bowen. Forbes challenging. And a foul goes against Bowen.
I actually thought both players were battling for the ball. I didn't see the foul. The first ball that came across really late. Here it is, just pushing and shoving there. Forbes, I didn't see the foul. You know, referee's seen something differently. Obviously, he's closer to the action there. Pat McMahon getting on the inside of Bowen there for that defensive header, just to kind of clear that area. Did a very good job.
Steris allows it out. Last year in the semifinal, the Galaxy led 2-0. 2 penalties against them in a difficult environment in Sacramento. A lot of new players this year, but they felt robbed last year. They used it as motivation in the semifinal. This season, ahead 1-0 in the 64th. They concede in the 90th in stoppage time. Chips it wide, McMahon. He'll collect again. Through. Across! And all the way across the face of goal and wide. Dixon nearly picked it out, and he had Diop beat if it found a foot.
I see a great run here in the combination again. Just across the inside of the 6. Nobody following up on the weak side. Great ball across, great delivery. That was an opportunity gone by the wayside for sure for Rochester. That's the best opportunity we've seen, Mike, in the overtime so far.
That may be the best opportunity that Rochester has had in the run of play all evening. Their goal coming off a corner kick from Mendoza, who left injured shortly thereafter. Van de Castile. Now the Rhinos slow it down as now McBean is down and slow to get up.
Yeah, it looks like he's offside there.
Headed back towards Diop. He's trying to keep it in on the line and he's out of play.
Yeah.
A corner.
Assistant referee did a good job of allowing that play to continue on because the initial ball would have had an offside position there from Samuels, but then Rolf is the one who kept it alive, and he continued on, so very good job there. And you see Diop, he's trying to keep it in play, almost to his own fault. You see the pressure coming late. Diop now, I don't know, is he a little shaken up? I'm not so sure. Maybe just trying to control the rhythm of the game. Might have got a challenge there late. We'll keep an eye on that.
And let's check his head right here.
Yeah, maybe a knee to the head from Rolf. Unintentional, and just trying to pressure the ball. He's a bit shaken off the field here. We'll keep an eye on this.
The backup is Bennett Snedden, 18 years old. We'll keep our eye on him. Academy player was committed to go to Duke and instead chose to sign mid-season with the Galaxy. Diop, a player who is maybe the most athletic in the organization, but they've been working with him on his technical abilities, his tactical abilities, and what a huge change of events it may be, despite the fact Diop has made 0 saves tonight, if Snedden would have to come in his place.
There he is, getting ready. Again, you're also thinking too now, you know, the approach in the second half of the overtime. I mean, you're like, you got to think about penalties as well if it comes down to that. What's he like in the penalties, you know? And as a young goalkeeper, we'll see if Diop is okay and ready to go.
And that's how cold it is. Snedden needing the full wear tonight. John Hartz needs it too.
This is it's where we need the fire pit, Mike, up here.
Oh my, Analfo giving final instructions to Snedden.
He is going in.
Absolutely remarkable. What a turn of events in the 104th minute with about a minute to go before the end of the first extra time period. Can you imagine a situation where a player of Snedden's stature, who is placed into a professional match, a championship final no less, and being asked to fill in for a player who is third in goal against average for the Galaxy 2 among USL keepers this year?
When we talk about baptism by fire, this is it right here for Snedden. And these are the opportunities you're looking for. We always mention the competitive edge and that winning factor, the development, but you want to put players in pressured situations. Well, I don't know if it gets any more pressure than this, Mike.
And he comes in on a corner kick for the Rhinos.
And you got Van de Castile right in front of him trying to block his pass to the ball.
Snedden stands 6'3". Sent in, and it goes over everybody.
Tommy Meyer with a little flick there. Good defensive posture from Meyer.
To be fair, Diop was not challenged at all tonight.
Wow, what a great ball.
And Snedden dives at it. And it goes wide, another corner.
Yeah, fantastic ball from Alex Dixon. Again, he's just drilled this one across. A slight flick on there as well from Samuels. And Snedden already just has to get his hand on it just to make sure.
The crowd is going nuts. It sounds like a stampede. Crossed in, headed, bicycle kick try is wide. Oh.
You saw Snedden come there, and he gets a slight punch on the ball. It's not enough cleared all the way. Tony Walls, number 20. The athletic bicycle trying to stick it on net.
And Diop is so beside himself, he's still sitting by the end line. What a low moment for a player who's been very consistent this year. But Tony Walls, who is the personification of a Rochester Rhino, nearly finding the goal. Forbes collapses down. Dixon has the ball. Extra time in the first extra time. Off of Franco. Through the legs. Poked away by Forbes.
And you see Forbes really applying that pressure, that mental attitude again, closing down the space, something Rochester's been very well known for this season.
Walker, take it away. Franco. Aris. Through ball for Bowen, but the sneaky clearance. And now Forbes with three options to choose from. Over the top, Samuels. Outside his area, gets by Snedden. Samuels can't hang on. Some rookie mistakes, and down goes the player, Samuels. And a free kick coming, but it all comes back to the rookie goalkeeper who came so far off his line, he was 25 yards out.
Yeah, and it was a little bit of a deflection there, slightly. You see the bounce completely misjudged at the end. Comes outside of his box, and you know, Diallo was there marking the 1v1. Not sure Snedden really need to apply, come out that high. Made the decision, had to commit to it, but wow, what an important decision here.
Forbes sends it in. They're looking for a handball, it's not coming. And the end of the first stoppage and first extra period of overtime.
Unbelievable pressure there from Rochester. Really woke up this crowd, getting the equalizer, taking it into extra time. Again, the pressure coming in.
15-minute overtime period. Once again, our match remains level at the end of the second
Heather Prusak is down on the sideline with more about Kurt Analfo. Heather.
Yeah, the LA Galaxy 2's head coach, he's pretty upset that they're not getting any calls. He's saying that they're calling everything on Jack McBean, and you can clearly see the frustration on the sideline, even on that last play there. You know, obviously understandable, the LA Galaxy 2 not happy with how regular time ended, so you can definitely see visually you know, not as much life as in the first half and in regular time down here on the sideline for LA Galaxy 2.
Thank you, Heather. The entire Rochester Rhino organization with everything in this game, everything invested.
Well, again, the high energy here, Mike, from Rochester. We talked about the battle and the fight. They are certainly showing how to compete. And again, going back here just towards the end of the half, there's the deflection. And here's the misjudging of the bounce. Snedden's already committed outside of his box. And you see again, very, very lucky that Diallo was there, but then gives up the foul for the late free kick towards the end. Under pressure, LA Galaxy 2 on the road here. Again, you know, the fan base in Salem Stadium getting behind their team. You want to see a response now from LA. What kind of energy are they going to come out with?
And we look at this last free kick in.
Yeah, Jack McBean again took one almost off the face again, trying to head that clear. Bob Lilly, last instructions there for Rolf. Game on. Yeah, the crowd, I don't think they're very much worried at all about the weather conditions. There's Diop. LA Galaxy goalkeeper shaking up there, and Snedden didn't really have a proper warm-up, did he, Mike, before he went into a pressured situation? We talked about that. And right now, there's the instructions there saying stay focused, stay relaxed. Can you do it as a young player?
When the half ended, he didn't go to the huddle. He went straight to the opposite goal and was warming up with the goalkeeping coach, who was trying his best to get his head back in the game. When you make two mistakes fresh off the bench, how do you begin to get your head back in proper form?
Well, again, can they get through it? That's the thing. You weather the pressure that you're under. It's got to be the leadership on the field, though, that lifts him up as well. Rochester have been the better team in the latter stages of this game.
Rolf, Forbes, Walls plays it back with former U.S. men's national team captain and future head coach of the expansion side FC Cincinnati, John Harkes. Mike Watts on the call of the 2015 USL Championship in Rochester, New York. Ari Lassiter in the 64th minute, equalizing were the Rhinos. They're looking for the goal here. The cross is just behind the player on the back post, Ugarte.
Well, establishing a rhythm, great communication through the midfield, combination play. Tony Walls, number 20, dropped back into that holding midfield role. He's really established it. Done a very good job of winning the ball, but also distribution, connecting through the midfield. Excellent job from Tony Walls.
Apostolopoulos was pushed as he put his head to the ball by Bowen. There was a point in the middle of this season where Rochester felt that they had their turning point. They played in the U.S. Open Cup against Philadelphia Union. They fell in devastating fashion, but they played against Harrisburg twice in that span of about a week. 3 games in less than 10 days. And this is where Bob Lilly said his team figured out that they were capable of very special things this season. That came back in June. Now, in the middle of October, a chance to bring a championship trophy back to Rochester. Steris turns it over. Obasi. Van de Castile. Van de Castile dealing with a knee injury in September and looking in good form.
Yeah, very good form. And this is really, from Rochester's point of view, very good about establishing a rhythm and connectivity of the ball, circulating all over the field, and also the patience this late in the game. Doing a good job. Very nice.
And this seems like a complete 180 from the first half when Bob Lilly felt his group was playing too direct, not getting enough passes. McBean has no support between the legs of Forbes as it pinballs back to McBean.
Yeah, you just mentioned between the legs. I'm looking for the legs of LA Galaxy. Can they have that energy to push up and link up with Jack McBean? And they left him on his own. 30-yard gap in between the next midfielder and the next guy coming forward to link up.
So a free kick coming for Galaxy 2 as they seem to have settled down in this second extra time period. We'll go to 120 minutes. And if we still have no answer, penalty shootout. Sent in over Meyer. Touched wide. Van de Castile. Up the line and out of play. You've played in so many crucial games, Harksey. Is there a level of first time this goalkeeper getting a chance to touch it, Sneddon, in extra time? When you're playing in these final minutes of extra time and a penalty shootout may be on the way, how nerve-wracking is that? Is there ever a point where you think maybe we'd be happy to go to penalties?
Well, I mean, it's a great question, Mike, because at that point, that's where you're looking at the psychosocial, the mental, attitude of the player and the control under pressure. And, certain players do it very well. Others, you're looking to maybe see how they mature in the game. And, this is a test of the attitude of these players. The thing for Sneddon is I try to give as much touches as I could, but it's going to be difficult like this in this type of atmosphere where Rochester are really dictating the play right now.
Clement Diop left with an injury. Heather has more on the sideline.
Yeah, LA Galaxy 2's trainer Aki Tajima, told me that he has a possible concussion, and that's why he was taken out of this game. Obviously, you saw the frustration. He didn't want to come out of the game, but as you know now, concussions are taken very seriously.
Thank you, Heather Prusak. Joining John Harks, myself, Mike Watts. Here's a chance for Forbes. Clips it wide. Dixon looking for a hero. The cross is pulled in, and Sneddon challenged for the first time in extra time, and he's up for it.
Well, we talk about what kind of reaction will you get from Sneddon. Did a good job of holding on to that ball. A great combination through that midfield, but again, it's the second ball. You saw from Forbes. He applied the pressure in the midfield, Mike. That's been the key for Rochester right now. Great energy. They're really attacking the ball into space. Look at this again.
Dixon with the move inside. Plays Forbes. Walls. Some room now. Ugarte tries to play it across, and it's deflected by Covarrubias. Corner kick, and this is where the trouble came in the first extra time for LA Galaxy. Forbes. Yeah. 27 years old, one of the elder statesmen of the group. Apostolopoulos battling for position. Could a championship goal come here? Kenardo Forbes, headed, it's in! Rochester has the lead, and again, it's Samuels.
Once again, it comes down to a set piece. And Asani Samuels is the man on the spot. Same area. Fantastic header. And he out-challenges there Tommy Myers. Instead, and as you said, trying to get to the ball, but Samuels, what a great header and a great finish from Rochester to take the lead 2-1 here in the second half of extra time.
And in the chilly temperatures, it's the Jamaicans connecting to put the Rhinos ahead.
Wow, what a game. What a championship final in 2015.
And there's still another 6.5 minutes plus stoppage to go. Incredible poise from Rochester to fall behind in the 64th to score with just minutes to go in stoppage time. Set in, Miller's got it. Absolute pandemonium in Rochester. Forbes, McMahon, one more could well put it away, and Rochester doesn't seem like it's interested in being pinned back.
No, and you talked about, different players that stand up and make a difference in the game. Forbes, the elder statesman, as you said, 27 years old, number 21, takes that corner kick, and what a terrific ball it was, really into a dangerous area, and gave every opportunity here. Again, the pressure, wow. Talk about Samuels making a difference coming off the bench. He and Forbes have been driving the game this second half. They're doing a very good job here for Rochester. 2 goals as a sub. What a difference, Mike. What, can you ask anything more from him? Fantastic job from Asani Samuels.
He scored 2 goals all year. They came in his last 5 appearances of the regular season. Comes from Buffalo and Canisius College. What a proud moment, certainly, for Samuels. Forbes again being the catalyst. The chant of Rochester is deafening. You looking forward to coaching in this league?
I am. Very competitive league, excellent atmosphere again. The level of players has been fantastic. I really do, and the coaches are doing such a great job. Yeah, really looking forward to the challenge.
And moments like this encapsulate the USL. Santa Cruz, again Samuels looking for the hat trick. Dixon. Obasi. Sends it in for Ugarte, the cross, and it's too strong, but it's picked up again. McMahon. Another service coming from Forbes. He held it up momentarily, but the goal kick coming. Galaxy, another free kick opportunity in extra time. And Miller taking no chances. He sat for 3 long years for the Rhinos. and he can taste a championship. And the ball's going in the Rochester direction.
Well, again, the added pressure there you see from Rolf, Bugatti, all stepping up on that back line of LA. Energy level's been fantastic from Rochester right now. And you just wonder, does LA have enough in the tank to compete and get back into it? A free kick here for LA deep in their own half. Plenty of time still on the clock, but the momentum has really shifted for Rochester here in the later stages of the games.
Falls at the top of the 18, and Walls blasts it downfield, where Snedden is well off his line to collect it and send it by the chasing Dixon. Falls for McBean, tagged away. Walls slows it up. Maganto. And it is a corner kick.
Now he initially gave a goal kick and then changed his mind right away. The crowd were like all over him here. LA throwing everything they can here into the box. We'll see if they can get this equalizer. Rochester, strong defensive team.
Whipped in, Miller has it again. He has made no saves in extra time, but he has commanded the box and kept the ball away from his net yet again.
Coming up big, Miller. It's been huge for Rochester, solid. He talked about the opportunities that he's been waiting for as a backup goalkeeper to a lot of tremendous goalkeepers as well. And he's making the most of his opportunity, this season. Fantastic goalkeeping from Miller.
He wasn't even the starter at UNC Wilmington his first 3 seasons. He sat 6 of 8 years.
Talk about patience, right? And dedication.
He tore his bicep. He didn't know if he had a team to come back to. Bob Lilly said, "You'll be coming back to this team." He sat last year behind McCarthy. Here's the through ball, and it's not there for Rolf. McCarthy won goalkeeper and rookie of the year, went to the Union. Miller took over. 1 minute of stoppage time. And they bring the play all the way back, and this may be the best chance the Galaxy 2 have remaining. And up comes the goalkeeper, Bennett Snedden, who stands 6'3". Everybody forward now for the Galaxy. Whipped in, Snedden not there, punched away with one arm by Miller. Taken from distance. Running back Snedden, and he kicks it out. Fans on their feet. A champion will be crowned tonight. Rochester seconds away from jubilation. Rolf. Ref looks at his watch. Full time. The Rochester Rhinos are the 2015 USL champions.
We just saw Bob Lilly, Kurt and Alfo exchange hands. The fans now, even on the pitch, celebrating in Saline Stadium. Rochester, the hosts of the 2015 USL Championship, and now the winners, Mike. Really competing well tonight. And what can you say about Asani Samuels coming off the bench? You always look for a player that can make a difference in the game. 2 goals tonight. Fantastic from all of Rochester. But you have to give credit to the LA Galaxy, to Kurt Analfo, his team, his staff. They came out here, they got the first goal. They competed well. 2nd year in the league. Says a lot about a program to get to the final. Both teams tonight really competing, made it exciting. The fans are loving it here. And now Rochester Rhinos are the champions of 2015.
We go down to the pitch. Heather Prusak, along with the hero tonight.
Asani, how do you even put into words what just happened tonight?
I can't tell you. My coach told me to go out there and do my best, so I just went out there and did my best. Work hard for every ball. Everything that comes in here, I try to challenge and win it.
How are you able to come off the bench and have such a great game tonight?
It's all about confidence. My team is down. Two of our better strikers are out, so I have to step up to the plate.
Where does this rank in your soccer career?
Oh, come on. This is the best moment of my life. 2 goals in the USL Finals as a rookie. Come on.
And you went to Canisius, not far from here, the Western New York area. What's it like to be able to do this in the area that you went to school?
Great. I hope I make my school proud, and I plan on making Rochester and Western New York proud.
Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Asani Samuels, 2 goals in the final 31 minutes. He scores in extra time, the game winner. He scores with just seconds remaining in the Rhinos season. Clutch is an understatement, John Harkes.
Absolutely. The first ball being delivered from Mendoza. Fantastic contributions from him tonight before he was subbed out. And then you see Forbes, the elder statesman, as you said, taking another great corner. 2 set pieces, makes a difference. Asani Samuels playing in front of friends and family, I'm sure, as you just heard him talking about that. The fans on the pitch, they're enjoying the moment. Congratulations to Rochester. And overall, it was at times back and forth, Mike, throughout this game, and how competitive we knew these 2 teams were going to be in that final. There wasn't a lot of room for error, and Rochester picked up the momentum towards the later stages of the game, and they capitalized on their energy and also the determination here in their home stadium and come out victors tonight.
And for LA Galaxy too, as well as they played, the way they disrupted the attack for the Rhinos in the first half, the way they took the lead in the 64th minute, the way it looked like things were dead in the water for Rochester with about 5 minutes to go, but the way the Rhinos came back and really shut the Galaxy down, you can't help but feel this is devastating for them the way it was devastating last year when they fell in the semifinal.
Absolutely, and you also talk about some of the storylines that you and I mentioned before the game, and we're saying, look, a guy like Lassiter, who's made the most of his opportunities as a young player, comes in and scores in a final. I mean, tremendous contribution from him. You know, the guys are battling back and forth, but, you know, again, Rochester, they made the most of it. They earned the right here, giving up the fewest goals throughout the season this year. A very stern, organized defensive unit. 2 set pieces tonight. Samuels comes off the bench, contributes unbelievably to the win for Bob Lilly and their staff. But it's a win-win situation for everyone, because Kurt Analfo, you know, takes over the LA2 Galaxy team and has to establish, you know, a rhythm, has to establish an identity for that club. The first one to do so in the USL, and the relationship in terms of, you know, establishing their own USL2 team. And what a great storyline for 2 years running to get to the final in such a short period of time. It was excellent. So a win-win for both. Rochester here and the support and the home crowd, and really for the club, but also for the LA Galaxy. They should be proud of where they are. They'll be disappointed tonight to take the lead, but then to, you know, to be fought, quite frankly, by a team, Rochester, that has a never say die attitude throughout the whole year.
24 teams opened this year 6 months ago. Next year, 5 new teams will join, including FC Cincinnati, who John Harkes will be at the helm of. This is the kind of moment that makes you realize the passion of these markets, like Rochester, like Louisville, who started last year, that hosted a semifinal this year, like Cincinnati. It's one of these moments that the USL Championships has really proven to be as good or better than we anticipated.
Absolutely, Mike, and it comes in such a short period of time, and that transition, you know, Sneddon, a young player, 18 years old, has to come into a pressure cooker, really, and you talk about Diop with the injury and slight concussion that he may have. Sneddon comes in, you know, he does the best he can. You can't fault the young player. He'll remember this experience, so this will carry him a lot further in his career and his future. But also, too, we talked about Jake Edwards at halftime, the USL president, was saying in such a short period of time, establishing the relationships with the MLS, but also the standalone clubs, the ownership groups, the venues that are there, the excitement of the league and the growth has been tremendous. We look at the production tonight for this game, and the final has been fantastic. I hope everybody enjoyed it on ESPN3.com and also on YouTube channel. So overall, a win-win for the game in our country. And it just shows a bright future ahead. Many more expansion teams coming into this league and much more competition. That's going to make it harder.
And few people could have dreamed up a situation quite like this. Few could have even imagined that they would be able to come back, the Rhinos, so late in the game. And yet, Asani Samuels cements himself as a legend in Rochester. Meanwhile, we've spoken about him at length, about how hard he's worked to come back. A torn bicep last year. He sat 6 of the last 8 years, but now he's a USL champion. Brandon Miller standing by with Heather Prusak.
Brandon, where does this rank, this moment right here to win a championship, where does this rank in your soccer career?
Well, I've been here for 4 years now, and I've seen a lot of ups and a lot of downs. But this is definitely my top moment since I've been here in Rochester. It feels great to bring back a championship in front of these great fans. Thank you all for coming out tonight. We really appreciate it. You really helped us get back in it, and I'm just glad we could do it for them.
Bob Lilly said that you guys wanted to make Salem Stadium a fortress, as you did all season. How big was it to play and host this game here at home?
It was massive. I think we earned it all season with our consistent play, and so to get to all our playoff games at home, it was huge in front of our fans. They always are behind us, and we just appreciate the support and love playing in front of them.
After being a backup for 3 years here in Rochester, now finally getting your chance to start, what does this mean to you?
It's just nice to get out on the field and play with the guys, you know, and I'm glad we were able to cap off our season with a trophy.
Go celebrate. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The celebration is on for Brandon Miller and the Rochester Rhinos, a championship team top to bottom. They win the regular season, and they win in the final. Goal number 1. Things seem down for the Rhinos at that point.
Yeah, you see Diallo there with the header, the save from Miller off the bar, and then the follow-up from Lassiter. That was the early 1-0 lead. Here's the Mendoza corner, and again, you see Asani Samuels come off the bench, gets the equalizer, and give hope to this home crowd and the Rochester Rhinos, carried into overtime. And here was that injury we talked about with Diop as he gets challenged by Rolf, trying to keep it in, his head's down low. And there's the other header to make it 2-1. Asani Samuels, big presence in the box. Great header, great ball played in from Forbes, who made a huge contribution tonight on the field, a driving force. And really, Samuels becomes a hero.
So the Rochester Rhinos are champions in extra time, 2-1 over LA Galaxy. Let's go down to Heather Prusak as they hand out the USL Championship trophy.
All right, it's time now to start the post-game awards ceremony. I'm here with USL President Jake Edwards. Jake, take it away.
Thank you. What a great game, eh? What about those Rhinos? Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause once more for the Western Conference champions, the LA Galaxy, who played a tremendous game tonight and had a great season.
In the front with the trophy, right? Middle in the front. Make sure they see
It's my pleasure to announce tonight's MVP, Mr. Asani Samuels. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2015 USL champions, Rochester Rhinos.
The Rochester Rhinos hoisting a trophy. You've hoisted a fair number over the years, John Harkes. What's this moment like?
It stays with you for forever, really. The accomplishment to come together as a group, collectively, you know, for everybody to kind of celebrate in the way they have. And you look at guys who came up big, and you look for the experience, but you also look for the balance of the younger players that can come into the club. Rochester Rhinos just enjoying this right now, very much enjoying the celebration.
The Rhinos, a 2-1 win over Galaxy 2. Early in the game, the Rhinos pinned back the Galaxy, forcing the action. Great save from Brandon Miller. The fans rambunctious. Ariel Lassiter in the 64th minute. Asani Samuels twice more. The 2015 USL champions, the Rochester Rhinos, as they defeat the LA Galaxy 2-1 in extra time. Technical facilities provided by Vista WorldLink. For John Harkes, Heather Prusak, our producer Michael Cohen, our associate director Bill Herbstman, and the rest of our crew in Rochester, I'm Mike Watts, saying have a good night, everybody. The 2015 USL champions, the Rochester Rhinos.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.